Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 3 of Heroes and Thieves, season 2, where we're building one continuous Dungeons and Dragons world. If you followed along up to this point, we have a creation story in place. We have the ancestor civilization in place, and we have a group of radical people called the Sons of Fire. I think those are the big bullet points. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Let's see here. No, I think that about covers it. Sons of Fire is kind of where we left off.
Okay. And they're super cool. Super cool, pretty crazy, pretty fanatical, but I like it. Like it a lot. So with today's episode, we're going to try to get a couple things done within the same format, the 3 words. Last episode we tried and we didn't do very well. So
correct.
This episode we're going to try again, and maybe we're going to hit the goals, maybe we're not, but either way it's fine because we're still building a world. It's fine. So our kind of idea is we're going to build out some cities in the world that exist at today's point in time in the world. So like now, I don't know what year that would be. Maybe we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we haven't
in
developed
their world.
Yeah, we haven't developed that.
We have no
yet,
timelines,
but it's current day.
Yeah, it's current day in the fantasy world.
Yes.
So, which we still don't have a name for. The only name we have is of the old city, which is called Old. No, it's called Paragon.
Paragon. Yep.
So that's what it's called. And then I think I dabbled with New something.
New Salvation.
New Salvation. Is that what I called it?
Yeah, that's what you called the encampment of our Sons of Phoenix.
I'm not a huge fan of that, thinking about it now.
Oh, really? I thought it was okay.
You like it?
I mean, it's a little on the nose of zealotry, but I mean, it's D&D, so
that's what they would call it, right?
Yeah, it's
we are salvation.
Yeah, so. we are bringing salvation. So I don't know. I think it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah. So with that, let us begin. Are you ready? Do you have anything else to say?
I do have one thing to say. I got a comment from a listener that said,
all right.
It was twofold. First, it was the Jim Jones Massacre in 1978. Talking about the Kool-Aid, not Tom Jones. He is a singer out of England.
Tom Jones. I think that's why I said it like that. I said Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. No, it was Jim Jones. He led a group of people to South America, and they all committed suicide by drinking a spiked Kool-Aid. Very popular story about how one leader can. It's possible that one person can really lead people to some crazy things. And also, instead of the idea here was instead of the Sons of Phoenix, right? Is that what we called it? Sons of Fire? Sons of Fire.
Sons of Fire.
Instead of Sons of Fire, children of the fire, like children of the corn, was the way the comment went. Which led me into a little diving back into the Children of the Corn Wikipedia.
Oh, were you on that?
Yeah. So there's one idea for the name of our leader, Ezekiel. No, not Ezekiel. Malachi.
Also, yeah. Okay.
Malachi was his name. So there's one idea for it.
I like that name.
A name of the leader. Malachi, it's a pretty cool name, yeah.
Yeah.
And that little kid was evil AF in that movie.
I mean, they all were. But
but he was...
Yeah, that movie's creepy.
He was the most, I don't know, sinister, right? So...
Okay.
Anyways, that was just an idea, but we can...
Yeah, I like the second one. I'm not a huge fan of Children of Fire or Phoenix or whatever it was.
Yeah, it doesn't...
I like the Sons.
The only reason I'm not a huge fan is because Sons of Fire is we're trying to get to the point that it is a zealotous militant cult. And when you say Sons of Fire, it really puts it right there. But when you say children of the fire,
it sounds nice.
I mean,
it sounds more nice.
Yeah, it does sound a little more nice. But it doesn't. I think it's for me. It's the syllables. It's the 2 syllables on children that take away the edge.
Children of yeah. It's harder to get out. So I love the second part of it though. Ezekiel is sullen. I like the idea of bringing in that.
You want to? So do you want the leader to be
references.
Ezekiel or Malachi?
Malachi, yeah, Malachi is the one I like.
Malachi?
Ezekiel is cool. Malachi is the cooler one. Yeah.
All right. So for now, we'll have a working name of Malachi for our cult leader.
Yeah, Malachi, the leader of the Sons of Fire.
Very good.
Great. Well, thank you for that commentary. I love it. Love the addition. All right, so we are ready to go.
I'm ready.
Remember, we're going to build a city that the people can live in, not necessarily the Sons of Fire. They're kind of in their own place. We're going to build out the main city where the majority of the people live.
Right. A civilization.
Got it?
Got it.
The first word, the second 2 words I came up with are a little more like easier into city building. The first word is not.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the first one.
Try me.
Wave.
Wave.
Yes. Like either a hand wave or like hello wave or a wave like a water wave.
That's the only thing I thought of was water. I didn't think of hand waving.
Yeah, I mean that's a wave, right? You wave at somebody. I'm not saying that that's what we're gonna.
I mean,
do,
yeah, that is.
There's 2 interpretations of wave.
Wave. Okay.
There might be more, but those are what I have.
Yeah, I don't. I'll have to think on that. I don't know of anything else right now. So waves. We could build a city on the sea. We're diving right in. A city on the sea.
City on the sea. Okay.
Or, on the ocean, whatever. A city on the sea that kind of, what if they take Leviathan as kind of their patron deity? So a little bit more, what's the word? Grayness to the good and evil thing. These people
this is not the city of Phoenix. This is the city of Leviathan we're talking about.
It's a city that worships Leviathan as their main deity. Yes.
But the people who live there are the children of the Phoenix. They're not the Leviathan born people.
Yes, because everybody, it's a universal truth that everybody was born of the Phoenix, at some point.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And so they recognize that. They have their own beliefs about it, their own interpretations of it. How everybody has their own interpretation of God, right? Of what God is.
Creator.
Just like that. Everybody has their own interpretation of the creation story. But they don't deny that there is Phoenix, who is the mother of all creation, that there's Leviathan. But Leviathan they take on as kind of their patron deity, their protector. And they kind of just look to him. But these people aren't necessarily evil. They're just another people. They're just another society. And the reason
I like. Go ahead.
I was going to say, going back to waves, the reason that they have taken Leviathan as their deity is because, like, the reason why I came up with that name, because Leviathan is the moon, and the moon with the influence on the ocean waves.
The waves. Yeah.
That's how they are right on the city. So the first thing that I'm imagining in my mind aesthetically is kind of like if you can imagine those cities in Greece that are like they're all made of white stone, just beautiful white stone on the cliffs on the seaside. You've seen those pictures. There's a lot of white and a lot of like it's just very pleasing to look at on in the buildings and the architectures. That's kind of what I'm imagining is that kind of steez. And
I like it.
And so the waves are constantly crashing upon their shores, and they kind of live and die by the ocean. You know, that's how they're fishermen. A lot of their life is on the sea, or depends on their livelihoods depend on the sea. And I want to say just right off the bat too that their military is something along the line. They're called like the Wavecrashers, something like that.
Even though they're not fighting on the ocean.
No, they're not fighting on the ocean.
Those names.
They just take that name because it's, respect to the ocean where they were. It's where they live.
That's cool. I like the Wavecrashers. That's really cool.
Yeah, something like that.
So 2 things that came up when you were talking about this city on the cliffside. The first one is about them worshiping Leviathan. It was I really like the idea of their sect or their religion being the idea that the light is temporary and the dark is forever. So although we like the light and we enjoy Phoenix and what Phoenix gives us,
right?
We know that if Phoenix leaves, which we've been hearing rumors about, the darkness will always be there, and Leviathan will always be around. So that's why they choose to worship them. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not against Phoenix. They appreciate and understand it, but they are like, okay, well, we respect the dark more because it will always be here. So we tend to, like this. We like the impact on the waves. We like all the moon. We like all this stuff. So that's their reasoning behind that, which is really cool to me. The idea that I just had is super cool.
I just have the best idea. Well, I think too that like
that's the best idea.
Maybe a lot of maybe it's a lot more. All of that plus two like realistic things like, isn't fishing at night one of the best times to go fishing when it's super calm?
Yeah, or like super early morning.
Or really early morning. So, yeah. And maybe that influences it too, because again, their livelihood depends on the ocean. And at night when things are, maybe they consider nighttime to be calm and soothing and peaceful, as opposed to, some of the Sons of Fire being the most extreme example. They think the nighttime is, full of evils only and chaotic things, bad things happen. But no, these people are like, no, the nighttime's great. It's beautiful. That's when we catch the most of our fish. It's the most bountiful harvest at night.
Best time. Yeah.
And they just
and the moon provides enough light for us to see everything we need, so it's fine.
Yeah, and I imagine these people also have just like these banging night markets, and these torches lit up at night.
Yeah.
It's just so lively at night in their town, and you're there and you're just like, hey, maybe the moon isn't so bad.
It'd be real nice.
Maybe it's not just an evil deity because these people are obviously, blessed. That's what it seems like because they're prospering.
Yeah, that's cool. The second thought I had during that was about the waves. I was thinking of like a ritual these people do like at high tide, because the tide is what they're really stoked about, because that proves to them that their God is real and giving and everything. The tide comes in, and brings resources and whatnot. I like the idea of them going out at high tide every, couple days or whatever. They don't go too long without doing it, but they take something like, I was thinking like they give back to the ocean. So they take like a handful of sand and like throw it into the tide. So like they're giving back, as insignificant as that is, but they're like giving back to the ocean that gives them stuff.
Right. Just
or like they put in like, something they have like gold or whatever, currency. They throw it in like a wishing well or whatever into the tide. So it gets swept out to the ocean.
Yeah.
Like they're giving back. So I like that idea of building like that ritualistic society that does something to honor the tide coming in.
So I just thought of this too while we're riffing on this new city. So maybe that's something they do, some sort of, you said it was every couple of days, maybe like a festival or something, but
yeah, like not maybe like every high tide, maybe every 30 days or something. They do this. It's just like a big beach. There's like tents set up along the beach, and you go and you like get food from all the stalls, and you like throw your gold into the ocean.
That's what I was thinking. Is it's like these people are plentiful and they're harvesting, and once a month they do this kind of almost a sacrificial type of thing where they're sacrificing part of what they say they've been giving. It's like a tithe.
Yeah,
like they're giving back a tithe to the ocean. And the imagery that I have in my mind is from Final Fantasy X, when
Okay.
I don't remember her name, the main girl does that. Yuna does that ritual where she whisks away all the dead people to the afterlife.
Yep.
So I want to say that these people have some sort of like prophetess who every time they have this festival, kind of the climax of this festival is this same sage prophetess woman comes out, does that cool little wavy thing, and
for all the people who have passed in the time that happened.
Maybe we just straight rip it, but something like that.
Where, I mean, that's super cool.
I was just thinking something like that, where like those little orbs of the spirits, you know, they all come and it's reflecting on the water, and it's just all sorts of cool light, and people are just loving it, and it's like a reverent thing to watch, but it's like beautiful and super lit up. Yeah. So like once a month they do this. I don't remember what she called it, but they do that ritual. But
that's awesome.
I think we should add that.
I mean, I like that. That's super cool. I mean, that's kind of the same as, you know, like the Vikings sending their people into the sea, right? On boats when they die, they burn them and they put them in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like that's the same idea, essentially.
Yeah. It's just a little bit more magical.
But it's cool. Like actual like manifestation of spirits, like the orbs come out or whatever. They're flying on the water, then they go up.
Yeah. Maybe
that's really cool.
They do it for like for the military, who are called the Wavecrashers or whatever. They're sending them right back to the ocean where they belong, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I like incorporating the ocean terms into the military, even though they're not like, you know, boating around the ocean a ton to fight people.
No.
But they are, maybe their armor and their clothing has like, you know, waves kind of built into them. So it looks very identifiable as these people.
Yeah.
What are they called?
This race of society of people? I don't know.
What are they?
We have not given them a name.
So the city on the cliffside is super cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so far. So is it a big cliff, like a high cliff that they're living on? And then they can like go down to the beach, or is it like cliffs, beach, cliff, like smaller?
Well, I think, so, I originally want to say that it's more of integrated on the cliff, right on the beach. Like these people are hugging these waves, but they're able to kind of satiate the waves so they don't actually get like blown away by the waves or by the tide. But they live kind of not, the cliff isn't like a tall, huge cliff that's just like a straight drop, and they're just a city that's on this grassland on top. But they're like in the cliffs, on the cliffs, overlooking the ocean always. But that's just like part of the city. They definitely have, because I'm considering this a major civilization. I'm considering this one of our major cities. Big ones. Yeah, one of our capital cities. Because if this city's on the ocean, it's also a major trade city. Like people come and go through here all the time. And so it's a sprawling port city. So not only are they on the cliffs where it's just beautiful and awesome and on the beaches, but they're also on the land more inward, like going in. So,
you know what'd be cool if how in a lot of fantasy towns and real towns in real life, the people that live closer to the water, they're really more slummy and like dock workery, and like it's really dangerous by the docks, you know? In this town, it's the opposite. People who live out further away from the sea are the more grungy, outskirty people.
Yeah.
And the people right on the shore are all like the rich, the wealthy, well-to-do people are on the docks.
Yeah, I'm good with that, because then, yeah, like the further in you go to the city and closer to the sea, the more lit up it gets, the more, you know, fun food stalls and
it's nicer, it's safer there, and
awesome hotels and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, big hotels.
So is this on just a big landmass, like a big continent where there are others? Is it on a like Constantinople, where it's like the connecting point between two, you know, it's like right there in the middle? Or is it on an island?
I do like it being on the big landmass, but like maybe because I like it being the big port of like entry. So a lot of other civilizations are trading with them, so they're important.
Yeah.
They're not just on the corner of the map.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't really make sense to go up there to trade all the time.
Right.
So maybe they're in the middle and there's like I don't know. However it is, I want them to be where other people are, not really close, but not secluded on their own island.
Okay. Yeah. It wouldn't make sense for them to be on an island if they're going to be a hub of culture. So yeah.
Yeah, like a secluded island place seems more of like a bandit town to me.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
Or like a jungle civilization that's not quite fully developed.
Yeah, more just like rafts and stuff.
Yeah.
Not rowboats.
Yeah. Okay. So, and if these people have a pretty like famous, well-known army that has that very well-defined armor, that you can see from forever away, like that's who they are. Obviously they have a land force that's intimidating.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll put them on like our central continent. We'll say that. We have a kind of a central where our story is probably going to mostly take place is on this center continent, and they are in a ideal location. Okay.
Sweet. All right. So it's time for word number 2. But before we do that, I've got something I thought about earlier.
Okay.
It's not a bit. It's just a valid question.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily have to do with this world. It can. Somehow we could work this in. But the question I pose to you and to our listeners to think about, you know how they have those tests online where it's like a personality test and you get your like ITNJ or whatever.
INFJ,
yeah, whatever that's called. I don't remember what it's called, but it tells you like, oh, you're an introvert or you're a leader and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and most of the time you can like manipulate it to get what you want it to say.
Yeah,
you can just change your answers and be like, yes, that's who I am.
I'm definitely who I am.
Type A personality. I'm a go-getter.
I'm born to be a CEO.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people do that. So without manipulating answers, I want you to tell me if you were in this world, this D&D world, what class of D&D character would you be?
So if I was like an adventurer,
like totally honest, totally, yeah. If you were an adventurer, or let's in the world, like what would you be? Like an innkeeper? Would you be a rogue? Would you be whatever? Like who would you be?
Well, if I was
based on your personality,
if I was just in the world, I'd probably I mean, if I was just a living citizen of the world, I would probably be not much different than I am now. Actually, I think I would be either an educator of some sort or like I don't want to say scholar because that sounds really uppity, but something like that. Just
no, but that's what it is, right?
That's kind of what it is. Like I think,
yeah, I feel like that fits for you.
Yeah, I feel like that would be me if I was just a normal liver of society. If I was a adventurer
in this world, I want to do this because in this world, you are going to play the campaign as an adventurer, but you yourself are going to be in the world as an NPC, and you will be a scholar.
Oh, fantastic. So, okay.
I think that's a cool idea. So that's you. You're a scholar in this town we just built in the Leviathan town.
Sure.
The city by the sea. So you're more towards the docks, doing dock stuff.
Okay.
We'll come up with mine later, probably in another town. So we're not both in the same town.
Yeah.
So at any point in the future, we could just ask that same question to me and put me in there. So I see you as like, the scholarly type working in like a library.
That's what I was thinking.
An educational institute where you're teaching people something. Or like a keeper of the tomes.
Yeah.
Who like, has just the task of keeping knowledge or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's your NPC in the world.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah.
So now we have one person in the town.
We have one person in this town. Sure. I think too.
We have two actually. We have the priestess woman.
Oh yeah, the priestess woman. Yeah, let's definitely keep that because I like that a lot. But
yeah,
I think too, since we're on that topic, we say that because this town is kind of, they tried their best to be kind of a neutral place because it is such a center of culture and trade. They definitely have their enemies and allies, but almost everybody makes their way through here at some point in their adventures in their lives.
Yeah.
That this place is a center of knowledge, that there is like one of the main attractions is the great library that overlooks the sea, and it's just this place that all sorts of people want to come to kind of take the next step in their learning, because this is where you find all the best.
I love it. And then your NPC is like the overseer of this knowledge stuff. We'll put him at the top.
Sure.
Your character is like, the curator. You're the head honcho of knowledge, basically the world, because this is like the center of knowledge holding.
Right.
So,
but I will say my NPC character, he doesn't know everything. He's just the keeper of he knows where to find the books. Keeper.
Yes.
But
he knows a lot himself, but he's not like a know everything kind of guy.
Right. But he's the first to say, like, there's a lot that we don't know. For example, where is Paragon? No idea.
Yeah. And there's like millions of books here, and I've only read like 1,000 of them. So I don't know everything.
Yeah. I know about all the topics a little bit, but I can't. Yeah. I don't. I'll be the first to say that our world is greatly lacking in knowledge of certain topics.
Yeah. Sweet. So I like using that as a way to build an NPC in our world. Maybe we could do that with our friends or something. Like, this person we both know, what kind of NPC would they be moving forward? Which I think would be fun.
Yeah.
And maybe some listeners too that we both know or can get to know. Maybe listeners, you can write in and tell us about yourself, and we will inject you into the cities.
Oh, it's absolutely going to happen. Give us a couple
Which would be a lot of
sentences about your personality.
And we'll send us your Facebook profile. And
we'll stalk you live.
We'll work you into the world, which would be super cool. You could be a part of it, which would be fun.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
Okay. And this segues perfectly into the second word, which I didn't know was going to happen, but it did.
Amazing.
We kind of already talked about it a little bit. Second word is tower.
Tower.
Which we kind of just made this library like a huge tower.
Yeah, it could be just like this giant giant tower that you can see from miles away. Like that is the great library of
like a big
town name.
Big tower.
Yeah.
The library of unnamed city on the sea.
Yeah, because I don't want it to be like, again, I don't want to be so on the nose, like we worship Leviathan, so our town name is Atlantis. Like I don't want to do that.
Atlantis.
I want to do something else. Because if we say it's Atlantis, I imagine like Treasure Planet, and so all the people are just like these beautiful tan skin, wearing hardly any clothes.
Which they would be, right? Like Beach Town, right? Like Beach Town.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they are super tan and beautiful, but
they're getting that sweet tan every day, hitting them waves up.
Yeah,
surfing.
Everybody's surfing.
Surfing goes on,
having a good time. Maybe they do surf fishing.
Bro town.
That's how they fish.
Yeah,
they fish with spears on a surfboard.
They're riding in that wave tunnel, and they just have a spear, and they're spearing things as they're driving through the tunnel as it's collapsing.
Yeah,
that's intense.
It's like the top job there in this town is fishing. That's like top tier.
Yeah, it is. The coveted job.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do that then. Let's just call the tower the library. And the reason why, what makes this unique though, is this city is not run like a typical kingdom. Because normally, like, if from miles away, the building you would see would be like the palace or the castle, and you're like, that's where the king lives. Not here.
Yeah.
From miles away, what you see is the library. And so what that represents is
the biggest part.
This place almost in a sense, their most important thing they worship, like knowledge. I don't care about these Lamborghinis. Knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge. Give me that knowledge.
You know what I love? Knowledge. I read 10 books a day. No, it's there's no self-help books in this library.
No, they're banned in all of the
They're
content.
banned. Dave Ramsey, get out of here. You're not welcome here.
Yeah, none of that.
Gary V.
Self-help here.
Not today. But that's like it's symbolic of what these people aspire to, what they look up to, what they admire is the knowledge that comes from these books, from this. So this library is put at the pinnacle of this society. So I don't know what kind of government we could call it, because I'm not, great at government building, but it's got a unique government that's different than the rest of the world, and it's very free.
So do you think the government would be run by the priestess?
I think,
or is she just a big figurehead in the community?
I think she's more of a
there's
figurehead.
other people running the show.
She definitely has religious significance. So she's not just like the Queen of England, who is literally just a figurehead, but she is, she's the figurehead, but she's also crucially important to their worship of Leviathan, which I think we say, because this is a D&D world and it's magical, it actually gives them benefit. They're not just doing empty worship, but they actually get something in return. I don't know what that would be, but
getting like resources from, like, fish are abundant or something.
Yeah, like fish is abundant
more than anywhere else in the world.
They don't get hit by, if there's tsunamis or earthquakes, they are protected from those things. Like, they receive actual physical benefits from worshiping, which kind of flows through her. So she is central to a lot of things, but she's not making decision on when we go to war and who we go to war with.
Okay.
So I don't know
like that.
Who would, but
yeah, but they're always like, whoever is in charge is always consulting her, like, first thing, like, we need you to talk to Leviathan and ask, like, what we should do here,
right?
Because we need your counsel on this, what you think we should do, kind of a thing. So they're always asking for it, like, almost as if she almost runs the show,
right?
And she maybe could, if she wanted to,
right,
like, persuade things the way she thinks they should go,
yeah,
or like steer people back on the right path, like, that aren't doing the good stuff. So it's almost as she is, but there are like people in place that do make decisions above her.
Yeah, I think she specifically makes it a point to not go too far out of bounds of her specific like calling, Yeah,
because she's very like benevolent and she knows what her job is and what she's called to do, and she tries to stay in that lane unless people ask her.
So speaking of which, is she born this way, or is she made this way because of training and learning?
Oh.
Or is she born with the gift?
You know what would be cool? I just thought about, you said that, because people are born with the bloodline of the Phoenix. It'd be cool if, like, she was born with the blood of Leviathan somehow. Oh, like they only thought the dark people, the shadow people, were that, but now it's like she has this gift to commune with Leviathan, like the Phoenix people can commune with Phoenix. So like she's a very rare occurrence of this happening, and she's in this town, and she's very highly regarded because of it.
Okay, so being born with the blood of Leviathan is a much, because we decided, like, what did we say, 1 in 20 people have,
1 in 20-ish people have Phoenix blood,
are born with the blood of the Phoenix. And can they communicate with her? I didn't think they could. I thought they just received not directly, the same visions.
But they can receive the visions. Yeah,
right.
They can receive visions.
So they are receiving the visions and like maybe a little bit of guidance beyond that. But that's it. They don't, like, their prayers aren't openly like talking a literal. Yeah. But her, so maybe we say that being born with the blood of Leviathan is like 1 in a million, because
very, very rare.
So maybe there's some reason to that like Leviathan doesn't have the power to do that, like Phoenix does, or something like that. But for some reason, Leviathan can't produce that as often as his counterpart. And so, but because she's born with this gift, she has it a little bit stronger than your everyday average Phoenix born person.
Yeah.
So she can almost communicate. Like when she says her prayers and does her rituals, she does receive maybe like feelings and thoughts, not straight like go do this, but more just like urges of
not like a FaceTime. It's more of like a
right.
Urges and like thoughts and stuff like that.
You know, the wind blowing and the waves crashing, she hears his voice through that.
Yeah,
or
very
something like
obvious signs, very obvious answers to the prayer.
Right. So she has a extra special gift.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay.
And she's very highly regarded.
Okay. And on top of that, she's also very well read.
And the main target for now of the Sons of Fire.
Oh, okay. So that's one of their end goals. One of their end game goals is to kill her. Mm-hmm. But that's a long way off though, because
it's a long way off because she's very, very highly regarded by lots of people.
Yeah.
And like this is one of the biggest towns in the world.
Yeah.
So you can't just waltz in and overthrow them.
And it's got a military that's pretty awesome.
They have the Wavecrashers. So you can't really you can't beat that.
Isn't that the name of a sword in EverQuest?
It is. It's one of the top best swords you can get in that game.
Isn't it shaped like that, and it's got the hook sword?
Yes, it's like a hooked sword.
So we're gonna say that they all carry swords like that.
Yeah, super cool little hooked swords.
Yeah,
at the end,
fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
So, but this military is like feared. Like it's like when you talk about like the SEAL teams or the Rangers, the Green Berets, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like it's the same type of thought when you think about this whole military. They're impenetrable.
They're all trained to that level of deadliness.
So the Sons of Fire are very far off from that goal, but that is their goal.
That's their goal. Yep. And they're training their people for it, but they don't really have that level, even close to it, really. Yeah. But they are dangerous.
Or maybe
they do lots of things they shouldn't.
They could be training their people for like suicide missions.
I'm guessing a lot of them are highly trained and very skilled that could take on Wavecrashers. There's just not a lot of them at this point in time.
Yeah.
So only like the top tier generals are that skilled.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get these people that they've given the potion to get there, but they're just regular people. So it'll take a while for them to train.
Yeah. Their best bet is going the real zealotous route, the suicides, or something like that. Like they aren't afraid to send in their whole army to die.
Infiltration, like scummy things like infiltration, work as a servant, work your way up.
Yeah.
And then kill everybody you can.
Yeah.
kind of like, and then yourself.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's like all that tactics they use.
But the real advantage that the Sons of Phoenix have is that fiery like passion, that zealotous passion that it's a force to be reckoned with. It's a scary thing.
Yes, because without regard for yourself, you become much more dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
And with that, burning rage and flame inside of you.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So the word was tower, and we built this tower of knowledge
real quickly. Yeah.
But you know what I like as well from a lot of video games is when there's a tower, it's the idea of like there's levels to the tower, and when you're playing the game, you have to like advance through the different levels.
Yeah.
To get to the top of the tower, and there's like a big boss at the top.
Yeah.
I like that idea, and I like for the idea of like campaign building for dungeon masters who build campaigns off of this. The idea of like whisperings coming from the upper levels of the tower, and nobody really knows what it is. So adventurers might start thinking about going in there and trying to get to the top and figure out like what do they really do in this tower? Like the upper levels are off limits. Can't really go. Like, what's going on in there? What are they doing?
Okay. But maybe
it's a little shadiness. It could be nothing. It could just be, the guy singing at the top of the tower. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's for, maybe we'll talk about that later in another episode when we want to build out like a quest.
Some lore, some story. Yeah.
like what actually happens in that tower. But it's not. So if we do talk about it, the general populace does not know this. Only the people in the tower, the top levels of the tower, know what's actually happening.
Yeah, because I think the general populace can only access like the first, 3 or 4
Couple
levels
floors, yeah.
of the tower, where all the general books are held of all the knowledge of all the stuff that most people know, all the mythology and whatever else and stuff like that. But above that is when it gets a little more like restricted. Like, we can't tell you about this because it might blow your mind a little too much,
Yeah, and there's like 20 floors to this tower. So there's a lot of floors that people want to see, but they can't unless they like get in some sort of inner circle, and then they can advance up through the tower.
Yeah, so you have options. If you're playing a campaign, you'd have options of how you want to do it. Like, you can just go all out, kill everybody to get to the top.
Just assault the tower.
Just assault the tower. Or you could sneak your way up, try and get some keys from people that have keys, or like find trap doors or vents or anything like that to get to make your way up. But eventually you will have to fight somebody. So
yeah, and then find like stuff that's going on in there that's crazy.
Maybe it's a ghost, like in the Tower of Frozen Shadow.
There's a big ghost witch at the top.
It's a ghost witch at the top. Running this whole show, Hey, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that witch is controlling the priestess and nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happening.
It's a ghost witch, and if you play a paladin or a cleric, that offends you, right?
It's very offensive, and it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, so you need to cleanse
right away.
I come to cleanse this tower,
Yeah, I've come to do my duty.
Yeah, so
all that is good.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, well, we could talk about that later, but that's a really cool campaign idea or dungeon idea, I guess.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, ready for number 3?
But don't kill my NPC because I'm in there.
Your NPC has been enthralled, and they are just fodder for the adventurers to just smash when they get in there.
Just decapitate me. First thing.
I want to cut his head off. What do I roll?
I attack.
I throw the scholar out the window. That's going to happen for sure.
Oh, lovely. Rude.
Okay. All right. Word number 3.
Word number 3.
This word is mine. So there's 3 definitions of mine that come to mind.
Okay, go ahead.
1, mine is like you dig a tunnel in the earth and you mine. It becomes a mine where there's copper, gold, whatever in the mine. Or 2, mine is kind of the same thing. Number 2, a mine is in like a land mine. So that's a mine.
Okay.
And then number 3, mine as in the possessive, like this is mine.
Like Finding Nemo. Mine?
Yep.
Is that Finding Nemo?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the birds, the seagulls. Which mine you want to go with?
Well, seeing as how this is a fantasy story, the first thing I would say would be like a mine shaft where you find ores.
Yep.
The third definition, I don't think I'm gonna go there because that would be
okay.
It's too like, I don't know.
The idea of
metaphysical,
mine
like I don't know.
Yeah. What is mine?
What is mine? I guess we could say that this whole city is communist. Nothing is mine.
Yeah.
Or we could say that's what Paragon was. Nothing is mine. Everything was ours. No, I don't want to do that.
I like the mine as like a mine to be a mine shaft or something. It kind of lends itself to be like a dungeon or something for this town.
Yeah.
Kind of an idea.
So, yeah. So, but what I'm thinking of to kind of make this, because this is our world and I can do what I want.
That's right.
I kind of want to put this mine like under the ocean, like still, still like in the bounds of the city. Like if just they're on the cliffs and whatever else, but if you just go down, down, down into the water, down more, then down there you'll find entrances, right, of like underwater caves that go in and then eventually up, so you're not actually in the water anymore, but you're in these underwater cave systems that maybe there are companies or the city itself are mining in, where they mine a very specific ore called
sea ore.
Oh yeah, I was trying to say like oceanor
ocean ore,
or however you say ocean in a different language, and then put like ill at the end of it, or to try and make it sound like an ore, like mithril or silver or something like that. So whatever, however you say
tight, like maritite,
or that, yeah.
Mar means ocean.
Mar means ocean, so maritite.
That's kind of cool.
Okay, all right, we're on to something, right? Okay, so we could say maritite, or maritite. Which one sounds better?
I mean, maritite is like
mar is ocean
with the word, but that's Spanish, so I don't know if that works.
But also we could say maritite, because maritite sounds like maritime, and maritime also is ocean.
Yep.
And maritite kind of just flows better for me, so I think I'm just
maritite does work better than maritite.
I'm gonna say maritite. So we have this maritite ore that can only be found here, which is another reason
in these sea mines.
In these sea mines that belong only to this city. Sea mines.
That sounds funny.
They're mines that are under the ocean, all right? And it's under the city, deep under the city. It's maritite ore, and that is what makes the armor of their military. And like all of the armor and all like the cool machinery, cool, whatever tech or metal these people use. But maritite has like these qualities that make it extra strong.
And it's like a blue-green. Did we decide the color?
We didn't, but I mean,
like
that's
aquamarine.
That's what I was thinking.
But glowing aquamarine.
Yeah, like a glowing,
like really nice, cool-looking stone.
Yeah, when you refine it, maybe it dulls a little bit, so it's not so shiny, but it still does have like a little bit of a glow.
Yeah, but if you wax that shield that's made of maritite, it gets real nice. And
you wax that shield, it's like, wow, these guys.
So the Wavecrashers look even cooler because when it gets refined, it has like a foamy sea green look to it.
Yeah,
and it looks like a wave is actually coming at you when there's a bunch of these shields coming at you.
Yes,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's absolutely like that's the way that the world describes this army is. It is like a tidal wave coming over you. Like there's nothing you can do. You can't stop it.
So overbearing. Yeah, you cannot stop the wave.
It's just such a powerful army.
That's really cool.
That's now to make it a little more realistic. Like that's the stigma. That's the way people believe about this army. Realistically, like it's a very well trained army, but these are still just regular like army. Army guys. Like they are well trained and they're very good fighters, but they're just, they are beatable.
What's that movie? The Brad Pitt was in it. He's the best. He was Achilles.
Fury.
In Troy.
Oh.
Troy. No, not Fury. That movie was awesome too. But let's just name every Brad Pitt movie that was awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to be here a while, people.
It's going to be here a long time.
No, Troy, where he was Achilles. His band of people, I forget what they're called. But they were thought to be unbeatable.
Oh,
just they were
like
so
his small band of warriors. Yeah.
Yeah. And they basically were until, the Achilles thing happened.
Yeah. Rip.
So, I mean, that kind of level of they're revered for their fighting skills, but it is more myth. There is a lot of myth to it. They are very strong and very powerful, but they can be beaten.
The Myrmidons.
By regular people. Yeah. The Myrmidons.
They were called the Myrmidons. Yeah. Which is also... very awesome. But yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like they have a lot of fear stricken into the hearts of the world about their supposed supernatural powers, but they're just an army, a really good one, but they're still just an army.
Yeah, they're very, very good, but they can be beaten.
Yes,
like many have died. They're not untouchable,
right? But a big factor of why they are considered so fearsome is this maritite armor.
It's very strong.
That only they have. It's only allowed to be produced for, like, for use by the government of city.
Oh yeah, that's another benefit of the Leviathan, is able to create these mines next to their city. They're not anywhere else. They're just there. And so he's replenishing these mines with his ore for them to gather.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part
Because
of the
of the
blessings
power
that
of
he
his-
gives them.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, we still
I like
have
it a lot.
We don't
a
have
whole lot.
we don't have the name of a city, but we have the name of an ore. So
We do, Maritime. It's pretty
Maritime.
cool.
I think that's actually a pretty decent name. So I'm not
It is.
mad about
It's a
that
good
at
name.
all.
I like the whole city we built so far is really cool. The tower, the army, the people, the dock kind of folk life. It's so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can we get a name for this place?
Oh. Do we want it to be like water themed type of name like we have done with everything else so far? Or do we want to just come up with a fantasy name?
Like Traylor or something?
Sure. The city of Traylor.
I don't really like that. I do like the theme names because it makes it easy to remember.
Yeah.
And
they're
makes it fun.
iconic. So
For me.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, I think. I mean, we've already done it if our gods are named Phoenix and Leviathan. So I mean, I'm okay with ingesting more of that.
I was gonna say Titus, but I don't know if that is a good name for a city.
That's a good name for a person. like a leader of the military or something, but the city of Titus.
That doesn't sound too good, does it?
I don't know. Maybe, but
how about
I'm not sold on it.
Not that.
Are you just Googling like names of water?
No, I googled Titus. It, Final Fantasy X came up. What was the king in Little Mermaid called? Triton?
Triton?
Was that his name?
There's an idea. Yeah, his name is King.
He's the god
King
of
Triton,
the
right?
Greek god of the sea. The son of Poseidon.
Yeah. Son of Poseidon. Really? The son of Poseidon?
That's what it says.
I'm looking at a list of water deities. It's really bright.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. Gong Gong, Mazu. Let's see. Sobek.
That's a god of water.
That's one of them. Love Sobek. Let's see.
Triton is the name of a moon that satellites Neptune. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, Neptune.
And Neptune is also a god of water.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure.
Tide Wave.
The city of tidal wave.
Yeah, it's not coming to me right now. Maybe we'll think about it off cast, and then we'll reconvene with some winners. Then we'll see what we like the most.
Oh, on that note too, I think at some point there is going to be some world building done off of the podcast. Not anything super major, just small little tweaks and things like that.
Like filling in holes of things.
Yeah, just little plot holes or whatever else here and there. I think there will be a little bit of that done off of the live episodes, but
yeah, because there's a lot of content we're gonna need to build for this D&D campaign to happen, and we just can't think of everything,
Yeah, not while recording.
No,
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of holes in this town.
Yeah,
this town of seawater.
The city of seawater.
City of Seawaterton.
Let's call it the city of salmon.
Salmon town.
City of rainbow trout.
Fish chuckers.
Chuckarama.
Chuckery.
Chucker. That sounds too close to Chucky, and I don't like that.
Go down to Chuckery.
Uh-uh.
Get some nice fish.
Yeah, okay. So there's a question. If you were DMing a campaign and it was set in this, because I know my current DM, who everyone on the podcast will meet at some point.
Who's going to be DMing?
He's going to be DMing our campaign. He loves to do, which I think a lot of DMs do, but he loves to do certain accents depending on the characters that he's playing, right? So
I love to do it too.
In like in our current campaign, The Curse of Strahd, there's a lot of, Transylvanian type of kind of stereotypical, like Eastern European style.
Yeah.
So if you were to DM a campaign in this city, what's the first accent that comes to mind of what do you think these people sound like?
Well, the one I was kind of doing a second ago was like a hillbilly Southern accent.
Is that what?
That's what was in my head.
I mean,
these people,
it's breaking the mold.
Like, hey, come on down to the dock and get your fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Oh man, can you imagine the fish and chips at this place? The only reason that's kind of like clashing against what I think I normally think of is because we already described the city as like this beautiful, intellectual, religious place. And then suddenly it's
there
just
are
like
a ton. Okay, the stigma is going to be wiped away. There are a ton of intellectual people in the South.
Yes, I understand that. I totally get that.
Just like that.
But there are stigmas. And when you start speaking with that accent, people assume a certain thing. That's all I'm saying. That's but I'm totally down to say that.
Wrong, like, and they should be shamed for assuming that.
For example, that we could actually do that because, for example, I watched a YouTube. I'll stop pretty soon. But I watched a YouTube video of there's this accent expert who like coaches people for Hollywood, like Hollywood actors for movies.
Love it.
And he's a voice coach, and he talked about the accent. I think it's like in just above Florida. I think it's South Carolina. And if you've ever seen the movie Peanut Butter Falcon, Shia LaBeouf, man, that is a thick accent. That's almost a different country these people are in. Like I can't even, you'd have to do some real studying to learn that accent to DM a campaign in it. But I think that would actually be a legitimately cool accent. It's really Southern, but it's got a very unique twang and drawl to it that make it very like just, that's a different world. So, I mean, it's not far out of the realm of possibility to do something like that. A Southern Carolina, because that's also an ocean town, like an ocean state. So they do a lot of fishing.
Like I was thinking like Louisiana, like that kind of place that's on the ocean. Well, yeah. So it's like, that's great. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But my character will not be speaking like that because my character is not from this town.
Oh, yes.
I've already decided.
Your character's from a different town. Yeah.
No, my adventurer character.
Oh, your adventuring character, right?
Yes. I don't know where he'll be from because we don't have many other places yet. But
right.
He's not from here, and he'll have a different accent that I could do 100% of the time.
Yes, one that's a little more consistent.
Yeah, because I will have an accent.
Okay. Are you big into accents when you do D&D?
I do. No, I mean just in general, I like accents.
Oh yeah, I mean I do too. I don't do one currently. I just kind of play a very vanilla barbarian, Goliath barbarian, but
just a big hit everything you can.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, we are at time. We're going to wrap it up here. It's been a great time. I've really enjoyed, I've really liked this city that we built with these words and where we're going to head with it in later episodes. It's been really nice. So like the podcast, share it with your friends, tell everybody you know about it. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you could. That would be great. And that's all I have for you today.
Yep. Write us story at heroesandthieves.co. Write us your 3 words and we'll do those. So,
your person profile too. Send us your people profiles.
That's right.
If you want to be inserted into the campaign as an NPC, send us a little bit about yourself. Like, I'm, what is that called? Like ASL. 24 female Callie. Send us that.
The good old days. ASL.
Yeah, you know, like who you are, what you like, what you do, maybe a link to your Instagram or whatever.
Heck yeah, that'd be so much fun.
That would be cool. And then we'll put you in who we perceive you as based on your internet profile. We will put you in as an NPC.
Yes.
So don't be offended. That's going to happen.
have some self-confidence because we may inadvertently strike you down. So have the confidence to be like, you know what, I am who I am and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's who the world perceives you as. It's who you would put into this campaign. So let us know, send it in, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.